Governor Gavin Newsom also denounced any violence, any vandalism, chaos that is taken too far. He wants peaceful protests, but I want to read something that he said. He sued the administration over federalizing the National Guard. He called it authoritarianism and thuggish behavior, and he said it's time for all of us to stand up. And then he added, "What Donald Trump wants most is your fealty, your silence, to be complicit in this moment. Do not give in to him." What do you make of that? I mean, what do you think people, and especially Californians, you're in California now, what do you think they should do, especially this weekend when more protests are expected?
I would be peaceful, but I would exercise your First Amendment right to voice your opinion. And it's very simple that since 1776, we have not had a monarchy. We have had a republic. In fact, at the Constitutional Convention, Benjamin Franklin was asked what had been created, a monarchy or republic, and he said, a republic if you can keep it. And it's up to all of us in this country, as citizens of this country, to keep it in this moment where it's being tested as it hasn't been since the Civil War, really. And it's a scary time. It's a scary time. I try not to be an alarmist. I try not to exaggerate. I always in my career tried to work across the aisle in good faith with people. I even did that this past week, as difficult as it was. But what we're seeing right now is something very different than I have ever seen in my lifetime, and something that we all have to stand against. Now, what concerns me most is the silence and the fealty that I saw from my Republican colleagues this past week. Those are members of the House of Representatives. And part of it is a reflection of the weakness and the supplication of Speaker Mike Johnson. If you had a strong speaker who was respected by the President of the United States, I think this would be a different situation. But what you have is Mike Johnson, who is seen as whatever Trump wants is what he'll do. He doesn't have, in my view, a backbone. And that is a massive problem, because without a backbone, those rank and file members on the other side of the aisle, it's very tough for them to independently grow that backbone if they don't think that leadership will have their back.
When you look at things, when you look at America really in the grand scheme of the world, it's such a young experiment. And when you say the quote, "a republic if you can keep it," I mean, when you're looking at the time we're in right now in 2025, President Trump is in his second term. How close do you think we are right now to losing that republic?
Well, look, if you see the invocation of the Insurrection Act by the President of the United States, it is not unrealistic to believe that things will spiral from there. And where they go, I don't even want to think about, but it does keep me up at night, and it should keep you up at night too. We live in this extraordinary country. We have so much to be proud of. And I just want to make sure that the president remembers, and that members of Congress, Republican members of Congress, remember we are all Americans. I had one of the other appropriators, Andy Harris from Maryland, he's the chair of the Freedom Caucus. He accused all of us Democrats of having no regard for the military during the appropriations process. And so many of us were so deeply offended by that. We've had members of our family or many of my colleagues have served themselves. How dare they believe that? If you don't show fealty to the President of the United States, you can be a true patriot. I didn't see any of them show fealty to Joe Biden, that's for sure, or to Barack Obama. I didn't question their patriotism at the time. Don't question ours.